Hello, it is a completely ungodly hour of the morning, but it's okay because I'm going skiing. In today's video, I thought I would talk about privilege. And before we get started, let me say that if there's anything I say that you're uncomfortable with or think is misinformed or whatever, please just tell me in the comments because I'd rather be a more informed person. I'm sure everybody else would as well, and it's definitely not coming from a malicious or antagonistic place, it's just ignorance. I am a white, cisgender, mostly heterosexual, middle class woman. The only group I feel like I belong to that's discriminated against is being a woman, but I don't feel like that plays into privilege much, especially in my culture where privilege is really what you're born with and you just can be born male or female. I've had a very privileged childhood. I've been privately educated my whole life, pretty much always had a stable family life and role models, and I've always been given the tools I need to get to the place I want to be in. But I think more importantly than that is that I've never been denied opportunities to do what I want to do. I thought I'd talk about this today because I love skiing and I only get to go every couple of years, but I decided about 6 years ago that I would not have children. Blanket statement, I wouldn't have children until I could afford to take them skiing. And that's because skiing for me was a really important part of my childhood and an activity I really, really love. And I know that the vast majority of people don't get the opportunity to do that, and I wouldn't want to raise children that didn't have the same opportunities I had. And there are so many things wrong with that statement, but I still believe it. So I guess I'm just trying to assimilate the complete inequality in the world with the fact that I still want to be able to go skiing. And it's probably because most people can't afford to go skiing that I do get to. And that is so wrong, but I love skiing. Okay, I've got to go, but we'll talk more about this later.
As I was saying, I had a very privileged childhood, and by virtue of growing up with a lot of other white middle class people, I was sheltered from a lot of inequality and almost actively discouraged from thinking about it. It's only been since I've become an adult and I've met a more diverse range of people that I've really been conscious of my privilege. It was around this time that I started thinking a lot more about social issues and trying not to contribute to the problem, which is a tough one because I think for this one, my very existence contributes to the problem. My solution to be a better person in the world was to just be mindful of treating everybody exactly the same. I was very uncomfortable with the concept of positive discrimination, which is an attempt to mitigate oppression by prioritizing historically underrepresented social groups. It wasn't until I listened to a 2-part episode of This American Life called The Problem We All Live With, which is about desegregation in schools, that I did a complete 180 on that mindset and kind of identified being good as actively fighting discrimination. I feel like the problem I have with going on luxurious holidays is that it feels like I'm perpetuating the inequality of privilege by taking advantage of mine. But I don't think I should feel guilty for accepting and using that privilege. I just haven't been able to come to terms with this. So if any of you have any thoughts about this, I'd really like to hear them in the comments. I think my attitude at the moment is to be grateful of my privilege and not take it for granted, whilst also trying to remain mindful that other people don't have the advantages I have. See you tomorrow.